Everything we did at Torai was from a first principles basis. So essentially, question everything. Want to do Doodle AdWords? Why? Want this messaging? Why? What does our product do? Why do we want to do? What outcome do customers actually want?
He's a lawyer by education, and in his own words, he hasn't practiced law in a single day in his life. Also, the host of GTM Talk podcast. He is the go-to-me for GTM. He's the GTM guy.
If you're going to do 0 to 1, first you need to identify what your strengths are. That's number 1. And number 2 is you need
Hear it from Ashish, his journey from 0 to 1 and how he will drive it for upcoming companies as well.
Hi Daniel, thank you so much for having me on this podcast. You're doing a really cool stuff with AI, so I think I'm following you on LinkedIn all the time. The AI rap video definitely stood out. Like I learned a lot from that. So great work there.
Yeah.
I've been exploring AI for quite a bit. I think it's really cool. I haven't really seen where. See, for instance, AI SDRs. A lot of people are talking about it. Like I'm not a big fan of just because you can automate something, just because you can use AI for something, doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it will work. So what essentially I think AI helps with is AI helps with me doing my job faster. That's the way I look at it. It helps with, instead of hiring somebody for translation, now I can have one person to use LLMs to translate that into multiple languages, as opposed to me having an agency where you spend money on to translate the message. I'm just giving you an example. But in terms of AI, so what have I been using, right? I think I'm a huge fan of Claude. Claude is my go-to tool. And I've realized over a period of time, the way I've started to use Claude has changed dramatically to what it was 4 or 5 months ago. Today, for instance, I'll give you an easy question. I don't know how to do. Before I used to Google them. Now I'm using Claude to find the answer, to see whether I get the answer first. And then I go to Google if I don't get the answer. So Claude is my go-to tool for everything. And one thing that I've realized is majority of the people don't use these LLMs the way they don't use LLMs to the best effect possible. That's why this whole concept of prompt engineering is coming about. And LLMs are getting extremely smart, where you don't also have to give so much context, but you need to use the right words to get the context out. So one of the things that a colleague of mine actually have been experimenting on, has been working really well, is you state the problem statement or state what you want to do on Claude or whichever LLM, and ask the LLM to generate a prompt for you for what you're going to build or what you want it to do. It can be you want to write an article on usage-based building targeted at product leaders. You write that on Claude and you ask Claude to generate a entire prompt for you around that subject. Give a little information as much as you can around that subject. And Claude will give you a beautifully well-written prompt that you can use for generating those articles. So I think that is like a very simple thing that everybody can do, which is not being done. And similarly, Claude is one of the tools. A tool that I've played with a lot are V0, Vercel, right? I've played around with that quite a bit. So again, my learning from that is not going to get too much into my learning, but essentially, how to use LLMs. Don't go right away and start building on Vercel, V0, Vercel, whatever you call it, right? So there, you're burning out credits fast if you are not prompting the right way. Ideally, get to a table, identify what you want to build, and you try scoping it out yourself. Put that into Claude and tell Claude, I'm building a tool on Vercel. This is the end goal. This is how I want it to be. Break down and give me a prompt to build this. And you put that on Vercel and build. So that way you're able to, you use Vercel and Claude or any LLM, right? Or instead of Vercel, you use Lovable, doesn't matter. And that is the best way, in my opinion, to build tools. So these are 2 tools. The other tools I think that are incredibly valuable, I've experimented quite a lot with a bunch of these tools, is, what is the tool called? Like, there's a tool called, one is N8N. Right? For anybody who doesn't know N8N, you must check out N8N. Like everything that you hear, everything you see on LinkedIn, Twitter about automating various tasks, right, can essentially be done with N8N. The workflows are already built. There's very minimal stuff that you actually need to do. Maybe plug in your OpenAI key, wherever necessary, or whichever LLM key. The entire workflow that you've always dreamt of building, they are pre-built in N8N for you. For marketing, it's amazing. Like, I think everybody should check out N8N. And there are a couple of other tools as well. There's this tool called relevance.ai, stack.ai. There's this tool called Langflow. All of these tools are the backbones if somebody wants to build agents. When you hear the word agents, you are not a tech genius. It's fine. These tools can help you build agents. Want this agent Example, a lot of people might be thinking, you might have thought, ideally what I want ChatGPT to do is I want Chat to first generate assuming you want to generate an article. How do you generate an article? The first step, you probably want to do research. You do research on the subject. Then the next step might be create an article brief. Then the next step might be create an article. Then the next step might be do editorial check, and then you want to publish. Now here, let's say there are 5 steps in between this.
So you're saying writing an article using ChatGPT, so there are a few processes. First is research, and then maybe we'll create an article brief. And
No, essentially, so let's say you want to create an article, and you might want to research. You might have to write an article brief. You write article. You might want to gather data. You write article. You might have to do editing, and then you might have to hit publish. So essentially, there are 5 steps in the way for you to write this article. Now, a lot of us might think, how can I automate that? Right? Essentially, the tools that I just mentioned are tools that will help you automate this. Right? So essentially, what you do is you build a workflow where the first step, you add the prompt that works for you in for instance, stat.ai, right? And the first step is do research on this subject, and you mention the prompt. The second step will be use the answer of the first, whatever the output is of the first prompt, take that into context, and then do the second step. Then you take that answer as the context for the next prompt, and you do it. So essentially, you can build an entire workflow, entire agent, anything that anybody wants to build using these tools.
so all these, so Nathan, then Relevance, the other one that you mentioned is Stack, is it?
stack.ai. So relevance.ai is great. Stat.ai is great. Landflow, I've heard is great. Like, I've not used Landflow. I've used stat.ai. Relevance.ai, I've heard is great. I've not used relevance.ai. There's one more tool that I think is great, which I'm not getting the name, right?
Make, is it? Make.
Made.com is great. No, there's another tool I'm thinking, but Made.com is great. Made.com and are ideally for people like marketers. I think they're better off using Made.com N8N. Stat.ai to a particular extent. But for instance, Landflow is something that I won't be able to use. I need somebody's help to guide me to use. It's like a low code tool as opposed to a no code tool. And a couple of other places. So I do this podcast called GTM Talk, right? Like, you know about it. So essentially, this entire editing has become a huge challenge.
Yeah.
So there's this tool, I forget the name, that I use. Essentially, the entire video, you upload the video, and it cuts the entire video into various snippets where you can upload it as a short video for Instagram. You can upload it into LinkedIn size format, and it takes it. Obviously reads the text and analyzes the interesting parts of the subject, and you pay some $20 for it a month or whatever. But I think it saves me so much time to do that. So yeah.
Is it similar to Descript or something else? Not Descript?
It is not Descript. It's actually a Bangalore-based company that does this. I'll message you the name, and you can put it probably in the description.
Is it doing like fully, like, or you have some still 20%, finishing work?
It's absolutely automated. So you just upload the video, and you can set a template for you saying that I want my logo on top. There's a background color that I wanted in red. Subtitles need to be in this format. Okay. And you upload the video, and it will give you 25 or 30 or how many ever short videos. You can say I want short videos. You can say I want medium sized videos. You can configure that, and it throws out these videos for you. So now the manual work is for you to go through the videos and figure out what you want, what you don't want, and upload them. Saves a lot of time for anybody running a podcast.
Got it. Hope this episode was an interesting watch for you. We look forward to your suggestions and feedback. Please write to me or leave your thoughts in the comments. So the 0 to 100 series and the AI for Marketing, we are releasing it every Thursday. So please stay tuned and share this episode with that favorite founder/marketing friend of yours. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and yes, leave your comments as well. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, cheers and take care.